أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum and jazakumullah all for arriving early, those who have arrived early and have been waiting patiently. So on to our class for today. Can I have a student to the mic for the opening dua, please?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Walaikum
I'm going to invite G3648.
G3648. Assalamu alaikum. G3648. Assalamu alaikum. Can we have another student, please?
G3624.
G3624. Assalamu alaikum. Can the student unmute themselves? I hope they're not having
Walaikum.
Walaikum assalam rahmatullah. It's good to have you with us. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. Okay, so would you like to recite this dua for me? Start with ta'awuz.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbish rahli.
Okay, would you like some help? So I'll recite, you can recite after me. Yes? Okay. Rabbish rahli.
Rabbish rahli.
Sadri.
Sadri.
Wa yassirli.
Wa yassirli.
Amri.
Amri.
Jazakallah. Do you want to read the translation as well?
O Lord,
Expand.
expand my mind and make my task easy for me.
Jazakallah. That's from Taha, chapter 26, verse 27. Jazakallah G3624.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, so today's lesson is lesson number 24. Today's date is Monday, the 20th of June, 2022. And today's verses that we'll be introducing are Surah Ar-Rahman, verses 38 to 41. Okay, and just to quickly go through the class etiquettes, which by now I'm sure you're well versed in, and I'm sure you're adhering to all of the rules. The rules are in place because we are reciting the word of Allah, and when we recite the word of Allah, it is given due respect and decorum. And in order to do that, you have to come in a clean state of mind and purity. So you should have done ablution, which is wudu. You should be wearing clean clothes. You should have your head covered. You should be in a quiet place. You should have parental supervision, and you should have the correct ID. So I hope all students are adhering to these rules, especially to be sitting in a quiet place, because while you're reciting, it would be nice to have a quiet place where we can hear you loud and clear. Okay, so on to the knowledge quest for today. I hope lots of students tried the knowledge quest, and the knowledge quest is there in place to teach you the important words that you are learning. And so for today, the knowledge quest is, how many times does wal mizan appear in Surah Ar-Rahman, verses 1 to 37? And what does it mean? Okay, so all students who did try the knowledge quest and have an answer, if you could put your hands up, and my support teacher will choose the students, and I'll be asking 3 students, and then if you could tell me what you think the answer is. So go ahead. Can I have a student?
Yes, G3588.
G3588. Assalamu alaikum. G3588.
Walaikum assalam.
Oh, wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah. Okay, so were you able to do the knowledge quest?
No, not really.
Okay, so it's important to try and do it because it helps you to learn. And if you know the words that you are learning, they're much easier to remember. Okay? Okay, we'll ask you next time, inshallah. Okay, can we have another student to answer the knowledge quest question, please?
G3521.
G3521. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullah. So, were you able to do the knowledge quest?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your answer? How many times does wal mizan appear in Surah Ar-Rahman?
It comes 3 times
Wow.
in verse 8, 9, and 10, and it means measure.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's your answer. You've said 3 times. It comes in verses 8, 9, and 10, and it means to measure. Okay, Jazakallah G3521. That's your answer. Can we have another student to answer, please?
G3588.
G3588, we just asked, and they hadn't done the quest. So if you could
Okay.
use a different student, that would be good.
G3583.
G3583. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullah. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, wonderful. Did you do the knowledge quest?
Yes.
Okay, and what's the answer?
2.
4 times. Okay, and do you know where it appears? Okay, that's fine. Do you know what it means? Okay, Jazakallah G3583. I don't know why I can't hear you very well. So thank you for answering. Your answer is 4. Okay, so can we have one more student? Let's ask another student.
G3648.
G3648. Okay, so Assalamu alaikum. G3648. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to see if the 2 students that did give an answer, whether they got it correct. So G3521 said 3 times, and 8, 9, and 10, verses 8, 9, and 10, and it means to measure. And G3583 said it comes 4 times. So let's see what the correct answer is. Okay, so well done, G3521. Yes, indeed, it does appear 3 times in those verses, so verses 1 to 37, and it appears in verse number 8, 9, and 10 as shown. And yes, you are also correct, it means measure or balance. Okay, Jazakallah. So, on to our verses for today. So today's verses that we're going to be introducing are verses 38 to 41. And I shall read them to you first, and one student will get a chance to do the translation with me. So I'll quickly go through those for you. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فإذا انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيومئذ لا يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. Okay, so that's how those verses are recited. Can I have a student to do the translation for me today?
Yes, I'm going to call G3648.
G3648, Assalamu alaikum. G3648. Can I have another student, please?
G3530.
G3530, Assalamu alaikum. We're not having much.
I can't unmute both of them. I don't know why.
Please be called next.
Okay, so what's your ID? Is it G3530?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so would you like to read the translation for me?
Yes. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. And when the heaven is rent asunder and becomes red like red hide. Which then of the favors of your Lord will you to deny? On that day, neither man nor jinn will be asked about his sin. Which then of the favors of your Lord will you to deny?
Jazakallah, that was very, very well read. Jazakallah G3530.
Jazakallah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so on to the split word translation of the words from those verses. I'm going to read through them and then I'll read the translation as I go. It's very important to know what it is you're learning, and in order to know that, we can go through the split word translation for each word. So, okay, so فَإِذَا, so when انشقت السماء, the heaven is rent asunder or split apart. فَكَانَتْ, so becomes وَرْدَةً, red. كَالدِّهَانِ, like red hide. فَبِأَيِّ, which then. آلَاءِ, of the favors. رَبِّكُمَا, of your Lord. تُكَذِّبَانِ, will you to deny. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ, on that day. لَا يُسْأَلُ, will not be asked. عَنْ ذَنبِهِ, about his sins. إِنسٌ, neither man. وَلَا جَانٌ, and nor jinn. فَبِأَيِّ, which then. آلَاءِ, of the favors. رَبِّكُمَا, of your Lord. تُكَذِّبَانِ, will you to deny. Okay, so on to the practice for those verses for today. Can I have a student to the mic for the practice, please?
Yes, I'm going to call G3559.
G3559. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Good. How are
Good
you?
to hear. Alhamdulillah, I'm well. So do you want to read ta'uz and then we can continue? G3559, do you want to start?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. G3559, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to start reading? So, a'udhu billah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Okay, so go ahead and I'll help you if you need it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فإذا انشق
وانشقت السماء أفقا نفوردة كالدهان.
Okay, over here, this letter is a tha. I think you may have said something different. Over here, so when you see a shadda, you have to join it onto the letter that has a stroke above it, before it. So you can see over here, there's a lam and an alif in between the dal, which carries a shadda. And you have to connect it on to the letter that has a stroke above it. So you can see the lam has no stroke and the alif has no stroke. So you look for the one that's got the stroke above it. This ga is what we connect the dal to. So kaddi, rather than elongation, kaddi. Yeah? Try that again. Yeah, okay. So do you want to read from here? Kaddi.
كالدهان.
Okay, that's a ha, a ha. It's actually not very clear here, but it's a ha, okay? Kaddihan. Yeah? Okay, do you want to get what we're going to do? If you read this verse, and I'll help you with the next one. Go ahead. Fabi.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Okay, just quickly here, just paying attention to what we're reading. This is an a, not an e. Okay, that's all. Sometimes we get confused. That's okay. So I'm going to help you read the next verse because it's quite tricky. I'll read a few words and then if you follow, how's that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ لَا
فيومئذ لا
يُسْأَلُ
يسأل
عَنْ ذَنبِهِ
عن ذنبه
إِنسٌ
إنس
وَلَا جَانٌّ.
لا جان.
Well done. So you copied me correctly. And how we recite this part, which is a very tricky one, is to elongate the jim and the alif, and then we have to connect the noon onto the alif at the end, and we have to hold on to it because this noon mushaddat means that we have to do some nasalization. And because it's a shadda and we're stopping, it has to be read quite strongly, okay? So well done for reading that right. So do you want to try this verse again? This one here, Fabi Aji.
فبأي رب.
So what we do is we need to just pay attention to how long we recite this for. Do you know how long that's for?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Okay, so try that for just 2 seconds, not more than that. And the next letter is quite long, the next word. Okay, go ahead.
فبأي
Okay, Fabi Aji la
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly take you through this verse here because it's a bit tricky. So, okay, Fabi Aji
فبأي آلاء
ربكما
ربكما تكذبان.
Okay, so well done. That was really good reading. G3559. Jazakumullah for that.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Can I have another student, please, to the mic?
Yes, next one is going to be G3638.
G3638. Assalamu alaikum. G3638.
I can't unmute the mic.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to call G3601.
G3601. Assalamu alaikum. G3601. Are you there? Okay, it seems we're having a bit of difficulty.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, alhamdulillah. There seems to be some echo. I'm not sure why. Let's try reading and hopefully it should be okay. So, do you want to start with Dawood?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فإذا انشقت السماء sorry
Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd like you to recite after me, simply because it can be quite confusing sometimes, but we need to adhere to certain rules. So, for example, فَإِذَا ذَا rather than أَنْشَقَّ. So, when you come across two empty letters, normally there's a letter after it carrying a sukoon or a shadda, and then you have to join it on to the letter previous to it that carries a stroke. In this case, these two do not carry a stroke. There's nothing above it. But this letter does, so we know that we have to join this letter onto this one. But this nun sakin has an additional rule, and the rule is of an ikhfa or an izhar. And how we say the nun sakin is very important because of the nasalization. In this case, this is an ikhfa, and we don't say an or dhan. In this case, we say dha shaqqa. Yeah. So we hide the nun partially. We make a slight nasalization and we give it 2 seconds. So if you recite that with me, فَإِذَا شَقَّ.
فإذا شق
Okay, and just notice here, you elongated, you put an alif after this qaf, and this is just for 1 second because that's the elongation there. It's just for 1 second, okay? Now
Okay.
let's read it together. فَإِذَا شَقَّتِ السَّمَاءُ.
فإذا شقت السماء
Okay, so it's really important to pay attention to the rules that are in front of us. So when you're reciting this letter here, how long should it be for?
2 seconds.
And what's the reason it needs to be for 2 seconds?
It's because it has a shadda on it.
Okay, so when we're reciting a shadda, the rule for the shadda is that it has to be recited strongly. The shadda actually means to harden. The rule that you're getting this confused with is the nun mushaddad rule. Let me find you a nun mushaddad and I can help you. So down here you can see a nun mushaddad, okay? When you see a nun mushaddad or a mim mushaddad, only those two letters, nun or mim, then what you do is you hold on to it for 2 seconds. Why? Because they have a nasalization. We can't say them without the nasalization. So in that, it's only limited to the nun and the mim. But if you see a shadda anywhere else, yes, you have to read it quite hard, but you don't need to hold on to it. Because there are two letters and you have to say both of them, and you have to, in order to join it, you have to say it strongly. So just remember that only when you see a nun or a meme, you have to hold on to it for 2 seconds. This letter is only for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, if you just follow what I'm doing, and I'll recite it, and then we can, you can recite after me. فَإِذَا شَقَّ.
فإذا شق
السَّمَاءُ.
السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان
Okay. فبأي
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
فيومئذ
لا يسأل
عن ذنبه
عن ذنبه إنس
لا جان.
لا جان
فبأي
فبأي
آلاء
آلاء
ربكما
ربكما
تكذبان.
تكذبان.
Okay, Jazakallah. Well done, G3 601. Just pay attention to what the rules are in terms of the short and the long vowels, and make sure not to elongate where you don't need to, okay?
Okay.
Jazakallah, that was really good reading. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so some students are saying they can't hear me very well. I'm actually not sure why. I'm trying my best to keep the mic as it needs to be. I'm very sorry if you can't hear me. I am trying my best. Okay, so can I have another student
Yes.
now to practice?
G3554.
Okay. G3554, Assalamu alaikum. G3554. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah, and you?
I'm well, alhamdulillah. Okay, so we're on to the next part of our class, and I would just like to ask you, have you done your Hifz memorization?
Yes, I have done it.
Okay, and where have you recited up to before?
16.
16. Okay, so would you like to read on from verse 6? Sorry, which 16 onwards? Is 16 you said, yes?
15.
15. Okay, so we're going to read from 15 onwards. Okay, so go ahead and you start reciting.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وخلق الإنسان من صلصال.
Okay, that's khalaqal. It starts with kha, not wa. There's no wow before it. It's khalaqal insana.
خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار.
Fakhar.
فخار.
Kha. Try to say kha rather than ka.
فخار.
Okay, continue. Go ahead.
وخلق الجن من صلصال.
Okay.
من
وخلق الجن مما.
مارج
Hmm.
من نار. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Okay, sorry, can I just stop you 1 second? G3554. If you start from verse 16 again, وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ.
وخلق الجن من مارج من نار. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. رب المشرقين ورب المشرقين.
مغرب.
المشرقين رب المشرقين. رب المشرقين رب المشرقين.
Okay. رب المشرقين ورب المغربين.
رب المشرقين رب المغربين.
Continue.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Go ahead. مرج
مرج البحر رين رب يلتقيان.
Okay, Jazakallah. So I'm going to just stop you there. Jazakallah. That was 20 verses. So well done. Okay, so just a few things. So while we're reciting, it's important to see the rules as well. Can I just ask you how you're learning the recitation, how you're doing the memorization?
I learn 2 verses each day.
And how do you learn them?
So I look at them and read them, then eventually end up reading them off head.
Okay, so do you know the website Al-Islam, and you know where you have to go to learn the verses from the Holy Qur'an?
Yes.
Okay, so what I would like you to do while you're reciting them,
My mum used that.
Okay, so it's really important to do it with that, because what happens is when you listen to it, your ears pick it up, and then your mind picks it up, and it settles down in your mind. And the more you hear it, the more you memorize it correctly, and it's easier to learn. So what I want you to do is go online every time you learn. Go online to learn, and while you're learning, make sure to have the text in front of you, open in front of you, and you can follow it with your finger. And when you're reciting, then you'll be able to get the rules correctly. It's good that you're trying, so very well done for that. I'm just going to quickly go through one of the verses that you went through. So this is verse 16 that we're going to go through. Over here, let's start here. Okay. So if you can read this, can you read this verse for me? Let's go through it together.
وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ مِنْ مَارِجٍ مِنْ نَارٍ.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to correct for you. So you're reading very well, but you need to also remember that the rules that are in place, you have to remember which rules are how are they recited. Do you know this rule of Noon Mushaddad? This rule here?
Yes.
What's the rule?
You do gunna for 2 seconds.
Well done, okay. And what's the rule over here?
Gunna again for 2 seconds.
Okay, and over here, what occurs here?
Gunna again.
Yes, and a merging, okay? So this Jim has Noon Sakin in it after it, so it's Jin. But when you see a meme after it, the Noon Sakin gets dropped and it turns into a meme. The Wunna happens at the meme. So when we're reading it, it's not Jin me, it's Jim. If you could read that, Jim me. Okay. And the same occurs here. This noon gets merged into this noon, and you have to hold on to it for how long?
2 seconds.
Well done. So do you want to recite that again? Let me go through it with you once, and then you can try it yourself. وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ
وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ
So we're not reading the noon, it's just the meme. Mimma. Rijim min nar. Okay, brilliant. That's really good reading. Okay, so as I said to you, when you recite, please do go online to learn it, because it'll be much easier for you as well. Okay.
Okay.
Jazakallah, well done.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. That was really good. Okay. So can I have another student to the mic, please?
Next is going to be G3607.
G3607.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullah. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Do you want to start your hifz? Have you done your memorization?
Yes, I've done up to 41.
Verse 41. 1 second. Have you recited it to the teacher online?
I've recited 34.
Okay, so can you start from verse 35 then?
Okay.
1 second. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
فبأي
If you start with
آلاء
that words.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يرسل عليكما شواظ من
نحاس
فلا تنتفعون
تسيران
تنتصران فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فإذا انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيومئذ لا
يسأل
يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
Jazakallah, excellent. Jazakallah G3 607. That was really well learned and you're really making good progress, mashallah. Just a few things. So when we're reciting this verse, which is, I think everybody's making the same mistake. This verse here, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاء. Gosh, okay, 1 second, here we go. 1 second, I'm just trying to find it. There you go. So over here, the elongation is quite long. And when you're learning, how are you learning as well? Are you learning online? G3607, can you hear me? ST, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Jazakallah. Okay, so I think we've just lost G3 607. Just one quickly, G3607, if you're still listening, I'd just like you to pay attention to the elongations and how long you are reciting each word and whether it's correct or not. Also, I would like you to pay attention to the ikhfa rule. So when you're learning, just remember to do the ikhfa rule correctly. Okay, Jazakallah. Can I have another student, please?
Yes, I'm going to call G3670.
G3670. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, good. How are you?
Good. So do you want to start? So where have you recited your Hifz online before?
34.
34. So we shall be reading from 35 onwards. So go ahead. If you want to start with that one.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار ونحاس فلا تنتصران فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
فإذا
شقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان Quran. And Tamina's talking.
Can we mute that student for a second?
My brother came to my room.
Okay, that's fine. Hopefully he's not there. If you could recite from verse 38, if you could go ahead and read that.
Okay.
فإذا
انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان
فبأي
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. That's all I know.
Okay, that's verse 39. So that's from 35 to 39. Jazakallah, that was good reading. Okay, I just want to quickly take you through what you just read. Okay, so when we read the elongations, everybody obviously is getting this very, it's difficult to get correct. So if you could just quickly read this verse for me, this whole verse.
Okay. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Okay, when you just read that to me, this word here and this letter here were both the exact same elongation. How long do we recite this word for?
5 to 7.
Okay, and this one?
2 seconds.
Could you read that again? But if you could read this one for much longer than this one. Let's try that again.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Wonderful. Did you see the difference?
Yes.
Yeah, there's quite a big difference between reading it the same and elongated. Okay, so that's very, very important. So Jazakallah for doing that for me. Okay, and just another thing.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can my cousin read?
Yes, what's your cousin's ID?
G3547.
Okay, G3.
I mean 546.
Okay, G3546. Okay, 1 second. Okay, G3546. Could you put your cousin on to the mic?
She's not with me. I know
Okay,
her ID.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll see. I'll ask the ST. If you could choose ST, if you could choose her later on. Okay. Jazakallah. Jazakallah G3670. Just to remember the elongations. Okay, can I have another student, please?
Next one is going to be G3572.
G3572. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah. So where have you recited before? Online?
I'm not sure. Can I start from the beginning?
Yeah, for 1 second. I can check for you as well. Okay. So you have recited 72. I don't have your details. Okay, that's fine. If you can just recite from the beginning, that's fine as well.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان ألا تطغوا وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وزرعها للأنعام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والهب ذو الأصل الريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجن من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
Yeah.
يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يرسل عليكما شوال.
Okay, so what I would suggest, we'll stop at verse 35. So, okay, so G3-5-7-2, that was very, very good reading. You've learned it very, very well, and your pronunciation is really good. I especially like the time that you took to recite the ala'i, that part of the verse, fabi'ayyi, and that was really important, and that's something you grasp really well, and you recite very, very well. There are only a few incidences where perhaps you could read a bit slower. So if you recite a tiny bit slower, you're more likely to say the words correctly. So when we hurry and we recite the Holy Quran, we aren't giving it due attention. So all you have to do is just slow down a bit. I understand you've memorized it because you've memorized it very, very well. But if you slow down, you'll be able to recite each and every letter correctly, okay? So that was very good learning and really good reading. So well done, of G3-5-7-2. Okay, can I have another student, please?
Yes, G3-5-1-1.
G3-5-1-1. Assalamu alaikum. G3-5-1-1.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Have you recited before online?
Yeah.
Okay.
I recited till 22.
Would you like to read from 23 onwards?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay, G3511. I don't know if it's because you're away from the mic. If you could come closer to the mic and let's see if you can start again. So the verse that you're starting is yakhruju. Go ahead. Yakhruju minhum.
يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر
أعلام.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
Yes, كل
منه
من عليها.
كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك
ذو الجلال
ذو الجلال والإكرام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يسأله من في السماوات
والأرض.
كل يوم
هو في شأن.
في
شأن. شأن. So we have to join the alif to the noon. Yep. شأن.
شأن.
Okay, go ahead. Next one. Fabi.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. That was up to verse 31. That was really, really good reading. Well done, G3511. Just the two things that everybody else is doing as well. So if you pay attention to the elongations, so in the Fabi'ayyi ala'i, a lot of them are okay, but some of them weren't. So what you need to do is you need to remember to do it for the right amount of time. And other than that, so we're looking at ikhfa. Do you know the rule of ikhfa, the nun sakin rule? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so just pay attention to the nun sakin rule as well. So while you're reciting, make sure to do it correctly, okay? And make sure to listen to the audio while you're reciting as well. So really well done. Jazakallah G3511.
Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay. Excellent. So that we've now come to the end of our class with that. So I'm just going to quickly go through the homework. I hope you all can still hear me. Some students are saying to me that they can't hear me. I'm not sure why that is, but I hope you can all hear me. So today's homework is to memorize Ar-Rahman verses 38 to 41. And we need to also revise Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 1 to 37. There will be no knowledge quest for today. And a quick reminder, Surah Ar-Rahman means the gracious God. Chapter 55 is located in part 27 of the Holy Qur'an. There are 3 rukus comprised of 79 verses, and it was revealed in Mecca. Okay, can I have a student for the ending prayer, please?
Yes, G3596.
G3596. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Would you like to read the dua first?
Allahumma.
Okay, let's read it together. Allahumma arhamni.
Allahumma arhamni Bil-Qur'an
العظيم
Bil-Qur'an al-Azim
عظيم.
Adim.
Okay, could you read the translation?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran.
Okay, واجعله لي
Waj'alhu إماما وهدى
إماما
وهدى
ورحمة.
and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Excellent. Jazakallah. That concludes our class for today. Jazakumullah all to those who have joined today, and make sure to do your homework, and inshallah we will meet you in tomorrow's class. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.